And according to Tammy Rogers, myself, and probably every other dog trainer in the world, the most important command you can teach your dog is to come to you when called. And you want to make this command better than anything else in the world from the dog's point of view. If you call your dog and you're mad because he's not coming, he knows you're mad, and he's going to second guess whether to come to you or not. So you want to make coming to you Christmas to this dog. I mean, give him chicken, so if he's running towards the street and a car's coming and you call him, you know that he's going to come to you. That's really, really important. Okay, now I'd like to get to some collars. And according to James Michael from BoxerWorld.com, there are beginning to be as many collars as there are breeds of dogs. I'd like to direct your attention first to this poster. Has some different collars on it that I got from BoxerWorld.com, and you might want to take an extra look at this poster because there's major cuteness on it. On the left, on the right, on the top, and on the bottom. Okay. So I do have some collars here that I'd like to physically show you. This is called the training slip collar. The most common name for it is the choker chain. And this comes in all different sizes. Lengths, weight, and the size of the links. The smaller the link, the smoother the action. And by the action, what I mean by that is, we're going to make it into a P, the letter P, like so, depending on which way you want to read it from. And this right here is where you hook the leash. This goes over the dog's head. And if I fall, don't freak out. My shoe is broken, and this could really be fun if that happens. Okay. Now I'm not going to use a major correction on him because he's going to think he's doing something wrong. But you've got where it slips through there, it's going to be loose. Your dog will actually get used to the sound of this more than anything else. And the most important part of using this particular collar is it's a release, a jerk and a release. The release is more important than the actual pull. You don't even want to use the word pull, actually, because it's a pop release type action is what you want to use. And I'd also like to point out that according to James Michael, it's worth noting, always have a professional show you how to use any training equipment to prevent injury to the dog. Never, ever use any of these collars I'm going to show you today on puppies. Sit. Sit. Good boy. Down. You're just not getting rewarded very much for this stuff, are you, buddy? Okay. This is called a pinch or a prong collar. Looks terrible, doesn't it? First time I saw one of these, I said, I will never put that on my dog. This collar is fantastic. It is less likely to cause injury. I would choose it personally over the choker chain any day. According to James Michael from BoxerWorld.com, a study was done on these two collars. When the slip collar was evaluated, it caused neck, back, and tracheal injuries to the dog. When this collar was evaluated, no injury. It basically just pinches. And so this is fantastic for the big breeds that like to really walk you rather than you walking them. Andrea, I didn't know this collar existed until Andrea showed me this just the other day. This is going to eventually replace that collar I just showed you earlier, the choke chain. I hope it does, because if you have this and listen to it, that's what the dog knows as a correction. This works great. And I just want to point out the clicker once again. This is an excellent thing to use in training. To let your dog know when it did something right, click it, and it gives you time to get the treat and reward it. I also want to point out a fact stated by the American Kennel Club that various breeds have various temperaments, which means, according in training, that there are dogs that have a loving, easygoing temperament that will be a joy to train, like your Golden Retriever or your Cocker Spaniel. And then you have your more aggressive breeds, like the Rottweiler, the Doberman, or the German Shepherd. They will require a lot of patience and training. So if you're going to get a dog, you might want to keep that in mind when considering what breed. Well, would you like to get into some sports? Our canine buddies can be sportsmen too. There are 3 sports I'd like to talk about just a little bit. I'm going to touch on Schutzen, I'll show you a short clip on fly ball and a short clip on agility. But before we do that, I'd like to define each one for you. Shootsing is very long and lengthy, so I'm not going to show a video on that. Only the best do shootsing. According to James Michael of BoxerWorld.com, this was invented for the German Shepherd because it's basically obedience, tracking, scent detection. These dogs do it all. They do criminal apprehension, everything. And it is a competition. You can enter any breed in this trial, but it's mainly for the German Shepherd. Fly ball, this boy does fly ball. It's so neat. At one end, you have like a platform type thing. Help me out, Andrea.
The box.
Box.
A cylinder-shaped box.
It's square shaped down at one end, and it holds the tennis ball, but it's a platform on that box that's spring-loaded. The dog will touch that part of the box, and it'll release the ball, almost kind of pitching it to it. It catches the ball 51 feet down, over 4 hurdles, is the start/finish line. There are 4 dogs per team. So you send one, it gets the ball, it comes back. When it gets to nose with the second one, that one goes. The first team to get all 4 dogs, error-free, back to the finish line wins. Wow. It's really cool. And then we have agility. Some of you might be familiar with agility. This is where the owner directs the dog through a very difficult obstacle course. The owner can't touch the dog or any of the obstacles. And the clip that I'm going to show on this is agility bloopers, because you'll get the idea of what the dog is supposed to do. Oh. Down. Stay. And then we'll go to fly ball. You get the gist of that. Don't want to take up too much time doing that. Okay. All right. In conclusion, in the words of Tammy Rogers, also of James Michael, I'm sure Andrea will agree, and myself, never confuse canine behavior with human behavior or thought. And in my own words, perhaps we could learn something from the dog's way of life. Not to take things for granted, and to thoroughly appreciate what we have, to consider what we could see if we really looked. What would we hear if we could really listen? Any questions? If I can't answer them, I'm going to make Andrea. Andrea. And Riley, yeah. Good boy, Riley. You did good.